I'm Owen Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. As you guys know, every now and again I like to go into my mailbag, some of the comments that I get on my YouTube channel. And you know, I've got so many incredible loyal viewers on my channel here. I'm coming up, I think, to 10,000 subscribers now, approaching pretty close to 2 million total views off my YouTube channel. So thanks to everyone. I know I have people that have been following me for a decade, since almost the beginning, which is fantastic. And I've get a lot of wonderful comments. You can tell, I just can tell where these people are at that comment. You know, I can tell the difference between a homeowner and a successful viewer and one that maybe is struggling and not so successful. Their biases, you know, shine through every time. But I had a real gem here from a longtime viewer here, and I've brushed on this a few times, how renters and people that are on the sidelines want it both ways. They complain everything, whether the market's up or down, interest rates are up or down, they still complain. Partially because they just don't want to do the work. And even when, you know, the markets, whether that's the stock market for their retirement savings or the real estate market, gives them a little bit of a break, prices come down or interest rates drop, it's still never the right time. They never will buy. Because they're just missing one little key thing, and that would be the $50, $60, $100, $150,000 down payment you're going to need, plus the working income to get qualified at one of the banks to get a mortgage. Just a little missing piece there. But in the meantime, they sure love to complain. If they spent as much time working on themselves, getting better in their career, as they did complaining, they would be far better off. But this was a real gem from this guy. He's been a long-time viewer, and I liked it. It summarizes it perfectly. You know, because we were talking about Perma Bears and renters and everything else. Perma Bear during the high interest rate period. So even though interest rates, I wouldn't call these, compared to an old timer like me, you're getting a 2-year fixed for 5.2. It's definitely way higher than where we were at this time last year. But in the overall scheme of things, 5% interest rate is not sky high, that's for sure. Way below our historic 20 or 25-year average. But Perma Bears during a high interest rate period like now, which is every 10 years or so, which this guy's right, interest rates go up and down. My landlord is so dumb. I'm paying $1,800 a month for rent and his mortgage payment is $3,000. He's losing $1,200 a month, laugh out loud. I'm the smartest person on earth. Homeowners are bad at math. And then at the same Perma Bear, a few years later, landlords are getting rich without doing anything. This just is not fair. My landlord has made X amount, let's call it $100,000, $150,000 in the last 5 years on his property, doing nothing. I am a victim of the landlord's greed. It's so true. You guys know the catalyst for me writing my book 7 years ago, Along for the Ride, was an article just like this in the Globe and Mail about a reporter saying it was a story about a baggage handler that worked at YVR who bought a house in detached house in Kitsilano 30 years prior, saved his money, got his $100,000 down payment, scrimped, saved, didn't go to Canucks games, ate at home. Over the next 10 years, fixed up the house, put a one-bedroom suite downstairs, and then retired early at age 52, sold the house, and made $2.8 million tax-free capital gain. And this reporter this is repulsive. You know, this just isn't right. How can a guy like this make $2.5 million and become an instant millionaire? Well, you can do it too. It wasn't anything fancy. He just, you know, dedicated himself, saved, paid himself first, and stuck with a game plan. It's ridiculous. You know, it's saying, how do you sleep at night? Easy. You don't drink coffee after 11 o'clock in the morning. That's how you sleep at night. That's how this guy slept at night. But this is so true. I mean, and going back, just quickly, back to the guy, the Perma Bear 1, when the interest rates have gone up, and of course the NDP with their 2-year rent freeze and their measly 1.5% and 2.5% rent increases here. I know I've got a lot of landlords that watch this. Any guy that's lived in a condo here for the last 4 or 5 years is paying so far below market rent, it hurts. And of course, they're not going to leave now because they know if they're paying $1,800 a month now and they have to get out and get a new place, they're looking at $2,600 or $2,700 a month. But I can tell you guys, if you're in that situation, you're a tenant, because I've got one too. I've got a tenant in one of my crosstown units, probably paying $750 below market rent. Good guy. I'm going to end up selling him a house here pretty soon. It doesn't bother me, and I've been giving him the measly prescribed rent increases, but he is still way below market rent, and I know I've got a lot of viewers in the same boat. But keep in mind, if that's you, congrats, but you are on borrowed time. It's only a matter of time before that landlord finally says, hey, I've decided I'm going to move back into the unit for a while, and you're out. My daughter or son is going to move into the unit, and you're out. Or, hey, I've had this unit for 15 years. It's time to sell. I've made a lot of money on it. I'm sitting on $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 in capital gain. We're going to list the home, and you're going to give you 2 clear months, and you're going to be out. So you're on borrowed time. If that's you, how many blogs have I done on renters getting out of that renter treadmill? Again, your days are numbered here. I would have a hard time sleeping at night if I was in that situation where you're waiting for that phone call to say you're out in 2 months and you're going to go from $1,800 a month to $2,800 a month overnight. In that same blog that I did, and you guys know, I don't get back and forth. I get some weird comments in there, guys trying to bait me, I think. I'm way too busy for that. Way too busy selling homes to get into some diatribe back and forth with some of you guys in there. Guy had talked about some website, where there had been no condo sales in downtown Vancouver, according to him, or according to this website, in the last 7 days. If you believe that, you are out of your mind. I went in and took a quick look. Over the course of that 7 days, there was like 50 or 60 condo sales downtown alone. I had 2 in the last week. This site was saying there was nothing. How many times have I told you guys, you get what you deserve if you're following these Perma Bear fake real estate websites. They have a narrative. They have a bias towards the negative, and they print this made-up stats to try and convince you that you're making the right decision of staying renting, stay on the sidelines, the market's going to crash. They've been telling you that for 30 years. And you see, there hasn't even been a condo sale in the last week in downtown Vancouver. It's made up, folks. I've said over and over again, the only place to get market statistics on Vancouver real estate is through the Greater Vancouver Real Estate Board. They print a detailed market stats package for the general public every month. It comes out on the 2nd or 3rd of the month for the previous month. And in that stats package, one of the best ones you want to use is the active sales to listings ratio. But you'll never hear this talked about on the media. It's too good of a stat. They'll only tell you that sales dropped 30% in Vancouver. Sales dropped 30%, but the inventory is running at 35% below where we normally be. There's nothing for sale. That's why the sales have dropped. The sales to active listing ratio takes into account both listings and what's being sold to give you a true picture of where the market's at. Buyer's market, balanced market, or seller's market. But, I've talked about it on my blog here over the years. I feel sorry for some people. I mean, times are tough. Inflation is killing everybody. If you've been following me on Twitter, I've been getting ripped off left and center on everything from a pair of Converse running shoes to I needed some Vicks NyQuil a couple weeks ago and paid $23 for the thing. I used to pay, I think, $12. Price gouging, inflation. So I have some sympathy and some empathy for people, but I've always given people on this blog the tools. The only thing you're going to count on is you. Don't rely on governments or the banks or anybody else to bail you out. It's on your shoulders. Nothing has ever changed in life. You can get into home ownership. As a matter of fact, it's not as hard as a lot of people think. Forget about buying a downtown condo for $800K or even $700K or $650. Start with something out on SkyTrain in New Westminster for $400. $20,000 down if you can qualify, $25,000 down, and you're in. And now you're in the market. But a lot of people, it's getting to the point now where some of these comments, some of these guys, I'm not going to go back and forth and argue with you guys. I'm honestly starting to feel sorry for some of these people, but I almost don't. You're bringing this on yourself. You're in this cocoon that you don't want to face facts here of where the market's going. That blog I was talking about a couple weeks ago was how the market is picking up again. Buyers are back out there. I just had one of the best Februaries I have had in a lot of years, and I'm a big producer, as you guys know. Especially for a short month, February, I was swamped here with sales. I had one of the best, most deals closed probably in February in about 2 or 3 years. And March, as we're into now, as I'm doing this, is already off to an incredible start. I just wish I had more inventory to sell. I've got a waiting list on buyers. We're just waiting for condos to come up, and detached homes as well. Very little on the market, and on the listing side, I'm moving my product right away. I'm doing holdbacks on everything and generally getting offers on offer night or multiple offers. That's just the way it is. I'm just giving you guys the straight goods. Will that last? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, like I say in my last blog. But these guys chime in that they just don't believe what I'm saying. Like I have biases towards this market, which I don't. One guy was saying, you know, I know you rely on activity. Of course you're positive on more activity because that's how you make your money. Listen, I don't have to rely on activity to make a living. I'm okay. My business is not affected very little with the number of years I've been in and the client base I've got. Whether it's a buyer's market, seller's market, balanced market. Because remember, I work with both buyers and sellers. When it turns more to a buyer's market, I just shift and work more with more buyers when inventory is up. When inventory is tighter and it's a seller's market, I'm always working with a lot of sellers. I concentrate more on that market. I'm a chameleon. So, you know, don't worry about me. There's a lot of guys that seem that they're worried about me and the market last fall and everything else. Worry about yourself. I'm fine. I'm more than fine. But they just don't want to face the music. They only want to hear what they want to hear. And if I tell them anything otherwise, that, hey, the market's starting to pick up again, interest rates now are on pause, they have to point to some fake site saying that, hey, not according to this site, there hasn't been a sale in Vancouver in a week. Come on. Just, you know, again, I'm starting not to feel sorry for some of these people. You guys are bringing this on yourself. How many times do I have to talk about attitude? You've got to change your attitude, some of these guys. And I'm not even going to get into it on my YouTube, on my comment section. I don't have time. But you better change your attitude quick. Stop looking at these fake real estate sites. And on that note, a bunch of those got shut down last year. I never will mention these sites because I don't want to give them any promotion. They don't even exist. I don't want anyone to even know about these sites. But there was a number of them last year. Perma Bear sites that were making up stats on the Vancouver real estate market. They ended up getting called out on it. And several of them now aren't around anymore because they were putting out propaganda. But a lot of people got into that propaganda, into that dark cocoon, and it just kills you. The longer you stay in that, the longer life is passing you by. You're losing valuable years there that you could have saved for the down payment, gotten in, and joined the ranks of us homeowners. And it's a lot sunnier on this side, trust me. So, again, be careful out there. These people, I don't know if I can reach. Some of them I try and reach. I try my best. But many of you guys, you know, your attitude and who you're listening to, life is not fair. It never has been. The Vancouver real estate market is not. It goes up, it goes down. Is everything fair in the Vancouver real estate market? Are prices where they should be? Bidding wars? Maybe not, but it doesn't matter. You've got to, if you're relying on the government or some market crash and then you're going to buy, do you have the down payment funds in place right now? Are you pre-qualified? Chances are you're not. I would just turn a leaf. Go positive. Stop listening to this stuff. Focus on getting your down payment fund in place. Getting out of that renter treadmill where you're spending $2,200, $2,300, $2,400, $2,500 a month down the drain. And I'm a landlord. Nothing wrong with renting while you're short-term, while you're saving for the down payment. But some of you guys are really lost. And I don't know how much more help I can give you. If you don't want to take my advice on this, and I have no biases. I just give you guys the straight goods here on my blog. Always have, always will. Hey, if a year from now or 6 months from now the market takes a turn and we see listings go up and prices starting to come down, you'll be the first to know. I will blog about it, just like I was last fall. I'm Owen Bigland. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.